Hey y'all, welcome to Cheater Chicken and Dumplings. Let's review our ingredients. I'm using shredded rotisserie chicken, one of the two reasons that I refer to this meal as a cheat version. Rotisserie chicken is going to give the rich flavor we want without having to deal with raw chicken or waiting for the meat and stock to cook down. The other cheat ingredient I'm using is the dumplings. For dumplings, I'm using canned buttermilk biscuits, rolled to 1/8 inch thick and cut into 1/2 inch wide, 1 inch strips. You want to get a relatively even size throughout. Making sure to roll your dough thin is very important to the final consistency. Flour the dumplings to keep them from sticking together as you prepare ingredients. I'm using a frozen blend of green beans, peas, carrots, and corn. These can be left out altogether or swapped for your favorite veggies. Celery is one vegetable I consider to be absolutely necessary in this dish. Since I'm going for comfort food, I'm going to add a roux to my cream of chicken soup and stock to make sure that the sauce is thick and rich. A roux should consist of equal parts fat and flour. I'm using 2 tablespoons each of butter and flour. I've minced 4 cloves of garlic and 1 tablespoon of thyme. I'm also adding 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1½ teaspoons each of dried rosemary, sage, and parsley, and 1/2 teaspoon each of white pepper and onion powder. I've got a large rotisserie style chicken that I picked up from the store. You can also start with a bag of frozen shredded rotisserie chicken, but I think the flavor and texture are worth the few minutes it takes to break down the rotisserie chicken. Hand shred the chicken and skin into large chunks. Don't worry about breaking your chicken down to super fine sizes here. The chicken will break down further once it's in the soup, leaving you with silky shredded chicken and tender chunks. Double check your mixture for bones and set aside. I'm using 2 cans of biscuits because I'm making an extra large batch of chicken and dumplings. I like to keep a few containers in the freezer for days when I need comfort food, especially in times like these. Roll each biscuit out to around 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch thick, the thinner the better. Flour each dough disc liberally as you set it to the side to keep them from sticking to one another. This will contribute to the thickness of your soup in the end. Flip your dough discs as you roll them for an even shape. Use a bench scraper or knife to cut your discs into strips around 1/2 inch wide and 1 inch long. Make sure to toss your dumplings in flour consistently to keep them separated from one another as you work. Take care to ensure that no dumplings are stuck to one another, or else they will not cook as nicely. Flour your dumplings one final time and set aside as you continue with the rest. Heat a large Dutch oven over medium heat and add your 2 tablespoons of butter. Once your butter has melted, sprinkle in your flour and stir to thoroughly combine. Continue to cook your roux, stirring regularly until it darkens slightly and a nutty aroma develops. I cooked this roux for around 6 minutes. If you aren't looking to make your dumplings especially thick, you can skip this step and move straight to adding your stock. Increase your heat to medium-high and add your stock. For this recipe, I used 56 ounces. If you're doing a smaller recipe, you could do 32 ounces and 1 can of cream soup. Next, add your cream of chicken or cream of celery soup, whisking until thoroughly incorporated. Add your chicken carefully to avoid splashing. Add in your spices and garlic and stir well. At this point, if you're anything like me, you may realize you've underestimated the size of your pot, which is why you will see a switch to 2 pots momentarily. Allow your mixture to come to a boil and reduce to medium-low to simmer for 5 minutes. And now for a confession. This was the first video I attempted to film and I managed to overheat my camera before completing the soup. Luckily, the steps are simple to finish our soup. After simmering, return your soup to a low boil. Add your dumplings one at a time, stirring to break up on occasion so the dumplings don't stick to one another while cooking. Once all your dumplings are in, add your vegetables. Reduce your heat to medium-low, cover, and allow to simmer for around 15 to 20 minutes, stirring occasionally. Your soup is done when the dumplings are cooked through. Thank y'all so much for checking out my recipe. Let me know in the comments how your chicken and dumplings turned out, great ingredient substitutions you tried, or if you have any questions. Click on the link below to check out my website for a written copy of the recipe, and come back soon for more videos.